Well, good morning and welcome to our second week of online Sunday school. I am sorry that I didn't get this posted sooner. Sometimes I get too much on my plate and I forget to do one or two things. And unfortunately, in the chaos that was my week last week with our conference having annual conference online and everything else, I forgot. And so I do apologize. So now we're here week 2, even though it's been a couple weeks since our first one. So week 2. Reminder for our Sunday school that you kids, we're working through Genesis. Chapter 1, verses 26 is our lesson that Miss Tammy talked about the last time. And so God says, let us make human beings in our image, make them reflecting our nature. And so, being created in God's image doesn't mean that we look like God in terms of our physical appearance, but it helps us understand that we are created with the capacity for love and relationships and caring and grace and mercy that God has for us. And so today I'm talking a little bit to you about relationships with God and also with one another. So God has the power to create. That's part of what we talk about in our Genesis story, is the creation power that God has. But we also know that God has given us the power to look after and care for creation. So in Genesis 1:26, it says God created us in his image to make us reflect his nature, but then it goes on to say, so they can be responsible for the fish and the birds and the cattle and the earth itself and every animal that moves on the earth. And so, in Genesis, we see that there is a relationship that we have both with God and with the world within which we live. We have been created and given the ability to care for all of that so that we would be good stewards of this creation of the Lord to help try and make it better each and every day for all of the creatures on the earth. We have been given the ability to be in a relationship with God and with others in a way that not every creature here on the planet has been given that ability. And so I want you to remember that we have the potential and the possibility to create relationships. So for you, this is probably some kind of a friendship you have. My daughter, Nora, has some friendships. She comes home from daycare and talks about, the friends that she has made in her class. I have friends, I know, kind of shocking, but our pastor does have friends. And, I have friends from when I was in high school, friends from when I was in college, friends from when I was in seminary, and just friends from my time here in Ohio. And those are things that help me see where God is at work, especially when I'm in tough times, to have someone to talk to about difficult times. So that capability to build those friendships and those relationships with our parents and our neighbors and our friends in school really helps us see where God is at work and how we relate to God, just as we relate to our friends and our family. So remember that when we imitate God in the things we do, it helps to make us better people. So to be like God is to show love for God, love for people, and love for others. So we have 2 dogs and 2 bunnies at our house on top of everything else. And how I treat my dogs and how I take care of my rabbits and how I take care of the rest of my family reflects how I uphold the image of God. And so God made us to be in good relationship. Now, sometimes we have a bad day, but when we have a bad day and we aren't the best for our relationship or for those that we care for, we also have the ability to say, I'm sorry, and to work on that relationship through forgiveness, apology, and reconciliation, which means making it right, making it up, saying, I'm sorry, please forgive me, doing what we can to fix things that we maybe have done. And that's what the grace of God is all about, is being able to say, I'm sorry, and make it right when we've messed up. So hopefully you have that picture you drew of yourself that you were asked to do a couple Sundays ago. If not, go back and watch the first lesson with Miss Tammy, get that assignment, and then draw that picture. And please take time this week to come and drop those off in the big mailbox here at church. And then we're going to put those in our lesson for next Sunday so that you can see all the different images that we've gotten. So drop that off in the mailbox here at church sometime in the next week, and we'll make those part of our lesson for next week. The self-portrait you made of yourself is what you look like on the outside, but you need to remember the important part of being like God is what you are on the inside. How do you look on the inside, and what kind of a person are you, and how do you work on that? And so we thank God for the ability to always work to learn and grow in here. And that is just good stuff. Let us close now with a prayer. Dear God, thank you for these kids. Thank you for creating us and for being with us at all times in all things. Help us to be like you in everything we do. Help us to say we're sorry when we mess up and to give thanks for the good relationships we do have when things are going well. Amen. Have a good week, and I hope to see those pictures in our mailbox.